I want to share a little bit about my experiences with psilocybin, or magic mushrooms. I actually first had them recreationally, I think like in my early 20s. Someone just gave some to me, at a party, and just a little microdose. Didn't really think too much of it, besides it giving me some kind of vivid impressions and sort of a slightly altered state, I suppose. But I didn't start experiencing them for medicinal use until a little later. And they were actually really helpful in my preparation for my Aya ceremony. I had been taking something for my anxiety and my sleep the year before, and for Aya, it's recommended that you not be on any other medications. Mushrooms really helped me kind of relax my definition of reality a bit. I was still living in a state of fear, and I believe these medicines come to us during our times of need, and we don't necessarily need to go seeking them out. So I remember microdosing about a month before my Aya ceremony, and I was just taking a very, very tiny amount, and just like laying out at the park and laying under the trees, maybe journaling a little bit, just like really appreciating unity consciousness as I know it now, but sort of expanding my awareness and my consciousness a bit, and that helped me relax a lot. I had a lot of fear going into my Aya ceremony, and that is quite understandable because I was about to undergo a huge shift in consciousness and experience something very life-changing. So my ego was very terrified of, what it didn't know, what it couldn't control. But mushroom medicine really helped me release my grip on reality in a good way, in a healthy way. was also listening to the Tao Te Ching, which is written by Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, and it was such a beautiful ancestral reconnection moment for me. Really respecting this medicine and not abusing it. Letting it arrive, letting it come to me. And I also received some more medicine before my EMDR therapy, which I've talked a little bit about on this channel, but that was also really helpful for emotional release. Later that year, I also had my first full mushroom trip, and I was a little bit scared. I wasn't as afraid as before my Aya ceremony, but I had some fear because my Aya ceremony was so intense, and I didn't know what this journey was going to bring up in me, and I'd never had a full mushroom journey before. So I went with a facilitator that I really trusted, got to know. There was a lot of sacred ceremony involved and singing, and what I appreciated from this particular journey is that it really brought out my inner child. Really brought out, I remember this moment where I was just looking at my own hands from like a third person perspective, or maybe just from a more conscious perspective, kind of like removed from my body a bit, and just appreciating like kind of the lines in my hand, all the details, the fingerprints, and just to see how precious I was, seeing how precious I am as a human being. And that was a reminder to really cultivate self-love, and that was a big moment of expansion for me. I remember going outside to almost immediately to a tree, and like just hugging the tree, and I felt like it was like cradling me as well. And I started to see, I wasn't really sure what visuals I would see, or if I would see any at all, but some of the visuals I saw were actually even more intense than in my Aya ceremony. It was different. It was more kind of geometric, and for example, I saw kind of like pixelations almost in the trees that I was looking at, and it almost looked like it was like on a computer screen, which is interesting. And then just like staring at a piece of art and seeing all the vivid colors, and how like as I was paying attention to kind of different parts of the art, it would become more vivid, or it would represent something different or look different. It's kind of fun to look at myself in the mirror a little bit. And then I felt really free, and I could just have fun with it a bit. And there was a certain point, I think it was when after I had maybe hugged the tree, and I was just dancing and swaying a lot, and there was a point where I got over my fear of psychedelics, basically, or my fear of what my mind would see, because I recognized that it wasn't really my mind seeing, or rather my consciousness seeing what was in my mind. And because I had done so much healing, I was at a pretty advanced stage in my journey with psychedelics. I felt like I actually had nothing to fear anymore. And that was such a powerful realization. I've had some similar experiences in dream work as well, like of nightmares, just observing and not being attached to anything that the mind throws my way. I just felt this immense joy and kind of childlike purity when I was done with the ceremony. Walked with some of the other participants outside, and it just felt like a rebirth, and cleansing of the soul, cleansing of the spirit. It did bring up a lot of difficult things afterwards, though, that I had to work with. But I think it was a very, it was a very powerful catalyst as well in my healing. And I'm really grateful in all the ways that it showed up in my life. And like the people I've connected to through it as well. It's interesting that psilocybin and other psychedelics have become decriminalized. It started in Oregon. I was reading some articles and news about how that industry has gone, and like a lot of the businesses are shutting down because of the prohibitive cost of these sessions. And I think it's unfortunate that in some ways that's happening, but it's also shining a light on kind of the colonization of psychedelics as well, medicalization, when these are like indigenous medicines, right? And even these industry business leaders, understand this, but the cost is so high for people that really need help. And so it's interesting to see where the decriminalization efforts will continue, and kind of the research expands as well. And hopefully that will allow people to access more safely and without as many consequences.